Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
What's the wildest thing you've ever seen happen at a work party? We had a chick get extremely belligerent and tried to drive herself home. An executive and her direct manager ran out to the parking lot to stop her, where the woman proceeded to wrestle and punch both of them in the face to get into her car. She then drove into the lake 300 feet away. Michelle Scott, proceed to the route. The CFO paying for staff to get blowjobs from strippers on the company expense account. Damn, what workplace was that, so I know to never apply there tomorrow. Stratton Oakmont. Christmas party years ago, everyone got kinda lit. Dude tried to pick up the head of HR, kinda slutty older lady, for some reason. He lost his balance and fell over backwards, essentially body slamming her through a table WWE style. Nobody got fired, but we couldn't have fun Christmas parties anymore. Oh, physically pick up. I was wondering how flirting turned into a body slam. Physically lifted her into the air. I was shook. At the company Christmas party, both the owner and his wife cheated separately on the other one. Sounds like they might have been swingers. Nope, that's why they started divorce proceedings shortly thereafter. Cat fell through a ceiling tile. Cat lived in the office, not sure how she got up in the ceiling. Nearly landed on the boss's head. Save bandit. I only weigh 82 pounds. They gave us drink tickets but didn't tell us we couldn't order top shelf. Company picked up a $12,000 liquor bill. When our company was sold, they had an open bar. The staff had to get more alcohol and the tab ended up being around $50K. There was less than 100 people there. Pipeliners can drink. Lol. Get blue-collar workers together in one place and that's what you get. My boss, at the time, whipped our regional manager, who was dressed as a sexy cop, work Halloween party, on the boardroom table while she yelled, "Yes, give it to me harder." I had no words that day. LMAO. Got her number. Lol no, I don't even remember her name. Cold sweat smile, cold sweat smile. For my part, I caught our married marketing manager, M46, going at it with our intern, F22, in the toilets. They did not seem to notice anyone had walked in and she seemed to be clearly, and loudly, enjoying it, so I just awkwardly backed out and left them to it. Slopping up the toilet, classic. Where the dicks hang out. Absolute perfect decision to choose the toilets for that. People rarely, if ever, go in there. The perfect place. All in the same night, two companies having their annual Christmas parties come back to the hotel. Fight breaks out at hotel bar. Instigator is shuffled out by coworkers. My wife's coworker gets beat up by her husband in the room next to ours. 4 people start banging on our door and almost bum rush me thinking it was us. Then the 6 of us go next door and escort her husband to the elevator. About 10 minutes later there's a guy running down the hall screaming that his mom is being our *ped in another room but doesn't know which, and is also very clearly high on something. I calm him down and tell him we need to go to the front desk. We get to the front desk and there's this massive dude, the other company was a regional gym chain, in front of us telling the manager that some kid just tried to break into his room while his wife was changing. He turns around to apologize to us for taking so long and his eyes go wide. He points and yells, "This motherfucker," and immediately horse collars him to the ground. This kid was like 6 feet 2 inches and maybe 160 pounds and big dude was maybe 5 feet 8 inches and pushing 250 pounds worth of HGH and tren. Right before he starts the ground and pound, I pull him off and explain aggravated assault because by this point, the cops had already showed up for the first fight and he'd probably kill the kid. The cops arrest the kid based on both of our statements and they can see he's on something. My wife and I convince her coworker to make a report because she has a fat lip and a bruise around her neck. While she's doing that, big dude thanks me for keeping him calm and offers me a 2 a.m. Jimmy John's sub they got for the people still hanging out in the bar. Wife's coworker gives me her sister's number to make sure she has a place to stay when we get back into town. Apparently this is a regular thing and they know she'll end up right back with him. She also confirms her sister is a problem too. I shoot the shit with the gym company people for another hour or so and then head to bed. We wake up in the morning to find out her coworker's husband picked her up shortly after we went to bed, so we just checked out and headed home. What a sad ending. Well, that was a wild ride. Thanks for the detailed write-up, but one question. Did you eat the sandwich? Hell yeah. Dude crashed the stage at the karaoke bar, got told to leave by the bar staff immediately. He refused, so they literally carried him hog-tied style, and physically tossed him out the door. It was incredible to witness, especially since the guy in question was a complete shithead. Low-key, that's the kind of workplace law that will last forever. A career scam artist who just didn't want to work got hired at Pfizer where I worked. Within 2 weeks he injured himself accidentally, and was gone 6 months on work comp. The week he came back was an office party and there were tennis courts. During a match he collapsed and an ambulance was called. He was gone for another 6 months. Then he quit. He only worked 3 weeks and got paid for like a year. That's insane. I'm actually kinda impressed he got paid pretty much nearly a whole year without working. Worked at a Toyota dealership. A bunch of the main office ladies got shit-faced at a celebrity golf tournament and crashed a bunch of golf carts and got the dealership banned from events being held there. That sounds fucking awesome. Now that's a Toyota-thon. Head cashier at the grocery store where I was a bagger during high school jumped on a table and proceeded to take her top off while dancing. Party was at the American Legion around 1984. I was 16 and they had a beer keg sitting with a hand tap where no one cared if I poured off it. Those were the days. Fellow 80s kid here remembers shit like this fondly. My first 2 years of college, 97 and 98, digital cameras were pretty expensive so only a handful of people had them. Lots of girls taking tops off at parties. The last 2 years they got way cheaper and were abundant, and people brought them to parties to document the fun. No more tops coming off at parties though. I'm sure smartphones have had an even greater impact. Went to the American Legion for a high school graduation party in 1984. Was 17 years old. They gave us beer, had strippers, and one of the members asked me if I wanted to go to the inn bang his wife while he watched. If you wanted to go to the where? Circus, carnival, movie theater, barnyard. I got a no. And less importantly, did you bang her? I worked overseas at a remote site. Lots of people hooked up and were couples. After the job was over, a lot of us went on to other sites in the States. Some of those people had their families move to be with them. It was hella awkward when you would say, "Hey Dave, where is Carol? Dunno, she must be around here somewhere. Have you met my wife Susan and my kids?" Quote, I wouldn't survive in that environment. I doubt I could keep my mouth shut, and even if I could I think my facial expression would tell enough. How many cheaters being exposed would it take before I ended up mysteriously disappearing? Yep, I can keep my mouth shut, but I can't keep my face shut, sad face. I work at a school and following finals on the last day of the semester we had a staff lunch. Between the time the students left and the lunch one of our assistant principals was fired. She had mismanaged funds, missed testing students for a required test, and was recorded berating a student and parent. The triple crown. As the staff is line up for the holiday buffet, she storms out of the office, grabs a plate and cuts to the front of the line. She filled her plate and walked out of the building. Her last supper. I had an instructor in cosmetology school who was out of her fucking mind. We kind of liked her because she was nuts but also nice and would bullshit with us a lot. One day she got fired, not sure why, but I witnessed several fireable offenses so it wasn't surprising. I was out back in the smoke area so I missed her, fuck all of you, flip out when she got canned, but luckily she stormed out the back door and ran right into us. She went from extremely angry to giving us all, the only 3 guys at the school, way too long of hugs. She did the thing where she kind of grabbed my back in an almost sexually aggressive way while she pressed her entire body as close to me as possible. Then she started ranting about how fucked up the school is and that she was going to tell us the real shit right then. That included, no one in this industry is ever sober. A beer and bump will get you through the morning, smoke weed every break, and drinks with lunch to get through the rest. Then she showed us how she puts weed in the end of her cigarettes every time she smokes so no one notices and it hides the smell. She then said she loves us and can't wait to see the big things we are gonna do in a very sweet and genuine way. Then she peeled out in her car while honking and flipping everyone off and yelling obscenities as she left. Later that night I got a friend request from her in Facebook. Best day of school ever. What's she up to now? I'm very curious. I respect that TBH. Wasn't even a party, we went out for dinner and drinks. I had a great idea to use bird scooters to get back to the hotel. 30 minutes to get everyone on and paid. Within 10 seconds into the voyage a coworker fell and broke both wrists. Hope you called his mom. Oh no, I haven't seen this one for a long time. Party was themed so people dressed up, me included. 2 ladies from IT came dressed up like she was in roller derby, flashy outfit, roller skates on, the whole bit. The 2 ladies were skating around the venue drinking and eating canapes enjoying themselves. A little later, the music gets turned up, and one of them is a few white wines into the evening and is out on the dance floor, in roller skates. Well, she has a stack. A big one and face plants the floor, hard. Blood everywhere. Ambulance is called to help her and takes her to the hospital where they do x-rays and see that it's like she has been in a motorbike accident wearing her open face helmet. She has broken her nose but also her cheekbones and sinuses. Surgeons are brought in to see what could be done. Didn't see her for some time after that as she had to have multiple surgeries to rebuild her face and nose. Holy shit, what a shitty night for her. Out of curiosity, did the party stop because of the accidente or the ambulance picked her up and you guys continued? There were 300 other people there, the party carried on. She has a stack. What does this mean? Crash, fell over. The lady in accounting got arrested for child abuse in the office on a work day. Damn, how many children work there? Honestly, we don't know. We don't really count them before we send them into the mines. I wanna say most come back at night, but I couldn't give you a number because we're always hiring. Oars flowing, those slightly smiling face. My female CEO invited everyone in the office to a live sex show. Both male and female employees, we were all invited. And most of us went. So later that evening I found myself with a front row seat, less than 2 meters away from a Russian couple having sex on a rotating stage under glaring, bright lights, surrounded by 100 or so chain-smoking Chinese men, plus the contingent from our office. There was some cheesy anthemic music playing while they were going at it, and right as the music reached its climax, so did the performers. It was genuinely impressive. The next day we returned to work, shared a few giggles, but it was no big deal. I have so many questions, but to start, what kind of company do you work at? Like what industry? It was one of those Montessori schools. This was in Macau over 15 years ago. Our company was in the tourism business, so we got a lot of free invitations to different shows around town. I don't know if Macau today is still as seedy as it used to be, but back then it was Wild West.